What's going on, YouTube? I kind of forgot to start recording when I started working on this, but over here working on the '08, ended up taking it to go get it inspected, and it failed because of the parking brake. So I'm out here now taking a look at my parking pads, and I've already got the other side taken care of, but this side, you can see I've got pad on one side, but then the other side, it's completely gone. And then the other side that I already took care of, you can see there's no pads on it whatsoever. But so I got the new pads put on. Got all the new hardware all up installed as well. But just me personally, what I done, ended up taking a pair of needle noses, and I got up into here and I took this spring off first. Once I got that spring off, I went ahead and went down to these clips and took a flathead and just kind of, it ain't focusing, just kind of pushed the clips down. You got them on both sides, just knock them down. Once I got both of those clips out, then I more or less just grabbed the top up here on both sides, and then I just kind of pulled them apart a little bit, and your adjustment down here, it just fell out. So once that fell out, then you really don't have anything holding the pads in place except for down here where you have the big spring and it being attached to your cable locking mechanism. So once I got everything out of the way, I left the spring, and then, like I was saying, I just grabbed up here and just kind of pulled and separated the two. And as I did that, I just slowly went down the axle shaft to the bottom side where the big spring is, and just had it fall right out. So what I was talking about is, you got all this out of the way, just kind of pulled this, and you see how it's kind of separating. It twists a little bit, so when it twists down here at the bottom, the little notches, that's where it was attached on the bottom to the locking, cable locking mechanism, and it just kind of popped, and then that's when I can just go ahead and start moving everything down. Now, putting it on, I done the same thing, the reverse of how I took it off. Put this big old spring on there, and then I got these, came from the bottom, and just kind of like twisting the two off to the side, kind of like in an angle, got them lined up. And then as I went up above the axle tube, it was just sitting, it wasn't going to fall out, but it was sitting like at an angle, attached down there on the bottom. But once I got that in there and got it connected, that's when I went ahead and put the little pins through the back that came up through that hole. And then that's when I went ahead and grabbed the clip, got the clip going back behind there and held it in place. Did that to both sides. So once I got those clips into place, that's when I got my adjustment kind of pulled back, and then set the adjustment in there and had it, spring back forward. And once I had that, that's when I went ahead and took the little spring, put it in, and then had the little needle noses that pulled it over. And once I got it pulled over to this side, that's when I had the flathead in my other hand and just got it right to the edge, and then used a flathead to guide it in and push it in the rest of the way. And so then you have the end result of it all being attached on there. And then it was just grab the rotor, put the rotor on, and then, if I needed make any adjustments, you got the little star up here that you can, and it's not focusing, you got the star up here that you can twist, so you can adjust your pads. But I got it adjusted to where I had just a little bit of room where I can slide the rotor on where it's not touching and hitting, but I can slide the rotor on. And then once I threw the rotor on there, that's when I went and pushed onto the parking pedal. And the parking pedal, it went about a quarter. I think I only got about a quarter of it pushed in, so didn't need to do any more adjustments. Released it, came back, make sure that it had tension onto the wheel and it wasn't letting it spin. Then I released it and came back and checked it again and let it spin, and it spun, so I knew I was good on my adjustment there. So now it's just putting the rotor back on, getting the caliper bracket and the pads and the caliper back on, and getting the wheel back on. But hopefully this helps anybody out there that's trying to take care of their parking brake. I'm gonna get all this back together and then go back and finish the inspection, and hopefully this time that they'll go ahead and pass it, since it only failed for that. But y'all have a good one.